Okay, so it's recorded already. Okay, let me share my my screen because it's already 4:02 to be exact. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So the next topic is about data structure. So data structure in R is a collection of data. Basically, it's a collection of logical, numeric, integer, complex, raw, or character. So the difference between data structure and data type, when you say data type, it's basically from the name itself, the type of data. When you say data structure, it's a collection of those data. Okay? And it deals with how the data is stored together. So there are um, six basic data structure in R, which include the vector, list, matrix, arrays, data frame, and factors. For this session, I'll be discussing vector and matrix. The next section, we will be dealing with frames, factors, and list. Okay. So vector is a collection of similar types of objects, meaning each element of a vector should belong to the same data type. So if you have a vector of characters, then each element all elements should be a character. Okay? So in the example in the slide, the vector name is vehicles. And the elements of the vector vehicles includes car, bike, and bus. So you will notice that each element is enclosed with double quotation. That makes the elements a character. So car, bike, and bus are all character in terms of data type. So C in R means coerce, meaning the values car, bike, and bus are converted into the simplest type required to represent all information. And coerce has an ordering. It is logical, is less than integer, integer is less than numeric, and numeric is less than character. So meaning the ordering, the highest form of coerce is character. Later I'll be discussing examples. So here, let me open my RStudio. Okay, I'll be sharing my RStudio screen. Okay. Okay. So can you see my screen? New script. Okay. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, po, sir.
Okay. First, I have to save this file as this is data structure.r. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, kanina, let's say vehicles. 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 Is equals to C R So here I created a vector. Okay. So if you check the type of vehicle in terms of data type, so it's character. Okay, so again, C here means coerce. So what does it mean? For example, say vehicles. So this is say 5. So in this case, I have a vector named vehicles, line number 3, but the elements are not of the same data type. Car is a string, 5 is a numeric, then bus is also a string, a character or string. But you will notice that if you print vehicles, the 5 is now enclosed with double quotation, meaning it is converted into a character because of coerce. And why character? Because the highest level of coerce is character. Okay, let's have another example. Let's say my favorite. Let's see. So your favorite number is, say, 7, and your favorite decimal point is 1.2. And say, true. This is your favorite Boolean value. And then print favorite. Okay, look at it. So from the output, pre, may klase ako. Dala lang. Okay. Sorry. Okay, from the output, the 7 becomes 7.0, the 1.2 becomes 1.2, and the true becomes 1.0. So meaning here, the data type is converted into numeric, because in terms of going back to our slide, in terms of ordering, the highest order is character, next is numeric, next is integer, next is logical. Okay? So the C means it converts the elements into a simplest form. Tapos yung pag-convert niya, may ordering. Do you get it? Naintindihan ba?
Yes po.
Okay. Very good. Yan. So, you can create a vector going back to our slide. You can create a vector using the colon operator. And this operator creates a vector of consecutive numbers. So, from this example, the vector name here is x. So, is equals to 1 up to 7. So, if you want to print the value of x, you can just type x and press enter. By the way, this pictorial representation is the actual code I did during the simulation. I just used a snipping tool to capture it from a screen and paste it in my slide. So if you want to test this using your RStudio, this should be running, okay, without syntax error. And if you copy this exactly as displayed here, it should have the same output. Okay. See, another vector is created here. The vector element is from 2 to -2. So the output of that is 2, 1, 0, -1, and -2.
Sir,
Okay?
parang hindi mo po, na tiga-share po yung screen mo po.
Hindi pa ba? Mabagal siguro ang
Wala
internet.
po.
Wala pa po, sir.
Okay. Siguro i-share ko na lang yung buong screen ko para ano. May problema ako sa buong screen. Yung mga Anyway, you can open naman the slide in one window. Tapos you can use Alt Tab from shifting from one window to another window. So you would see the slide. Mabagal ata yung yung uplink. Pag sinabing uplink, yung speed ng pagbigay ko sa inyo ng data para makita yung screen. Or probably mabagal yung downlink nyo. Pag sinabi namang downlink is the speed kung paano kayo nag-download ng data. So basically, mabagal ang internet. Speed ng internet. Hindi pa rin ba nakikita?
Hindi pa po, sir.
Yan, hindi pa rin.
Di pa din.
Wala pa.
May nag-error yung Google Meet. Isa pa. Yan. Can you see my screen now?
Okay na po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay na. Sige. So, kanina, sabi ko nga, here, yung going back to my discussion, yung coerce means it's a function that converts the elements of a vector into a simplest type. Kasi yung isang rule ng vector, the elements should be on the same type. So kanina pinaghalo ko yung, in this example, pinaghalo ko yung car, 5, and bus. Okay? But when I print the elements of these vector vehicles, the output is this one. Car enclosed with double quotation, 5 enclosed with double quotation, and bus enclosed with double quotation. The 5 becomes a character, not a numeric, not an integer, because of this C function, which means coerce. It converts the elements into one type, and that type has an ordering. Kasi yung type pwedeng maging integer, pwedeng maging character, pwedeng maging Boolean or logical. And again, the sequence is character, numeric, integer, and logical. Kaya yung ganyan, ibig sabihin yan is less than sign. So yung may highest order is character. So siya yung nangunguna. So i-convert niya muna sa character. Kung may element siyang nakita na pang-character. Pag wala siya nakitang character na element, i-convert niya dun sa numeric based dun sa data. So in this case, I created another vector. The vector name is fav. Let's assume that this is these are your favorites. Favorite number, favorite number with fractional part, then favorite Boolean value. So in this case, when I print the elements of the fav vector, the output is 7.0, 1.2, 1.0. So here, the true is disregarded. The 7 is disregarded. The priority is 1.2. Why? Because of this ordering. Again, there is no character here, so the character conversion is disregarded. So, kumbaga, yung conversion niya still depends on the elements. Kung sa case nito, naghalo-halo yung boolean, numeric, and integer, so kinonvert niya into numeric kasi siya yung second dun sa ordering. Okay? Naintindihan?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So, another way of creating a vector is using the colon operator. But this operator only creates vector of consecutive numbers. Sinabing consecutive numbers, pasunod-sunod. Okay? So, in this case, I created a vector, the vector name is x, then the value is from 1 to 7. So, if you want to print the values for the elements of this vector, you just type x and press enter. This is the elements or the output. Again, these are actual code that I extracted from RStudio using my snipping tool. So if you have a computer or maybe later, you can test this script and it should have the same output as this. Okay, so here another vector is created. The vector name is y. So the elements are from 2 to -2. So if we want to check the elements of this vector y, just type y and this will be printed. 2, 1, 0, -1, and -2. Okay? However, this colon operator has a limitation. It can only generate or create consecutive numbers. If you want to create a vector na yung increment niya is not by 1, the function that should be used is sequence. Ito, pwede rin siya mag-create a sequence of number, but it has parameter. The syntax is like this. Sequence from what number to what number, what is the increment? The default is 1, it can be by 5, it can be by 7, it can be by 3. And the length is the length of the sequence. So let's have an example. Let's say A sequence, let's say 5 to 55. So use from to and by let's see, by 10. So okay, A is let's see, dito. Okay. Yeah. This generates an error because I started running the script without running this first line or line number 8. Dito ako nagsimula. So, hahanapin niya yung A. Ang sasabihin ng interpreter, sinong sinasabi mong A? Hindi ko yan kilala. Kasi hindi pa siya part ng compilation. Kasi nga, yung R, yung compilation na is line by line. Okay, kaya may error nito. So, ito yung output. So, again, using the sequence function, it also creates a vector from 5 to 55 and the increment is by 10. So 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, and 55. Okay. Let's say another vector sequence can be like this: 3, 15, and let's say by 4. And print B So here, another vector is created. The vector name is B. It started with 3. It should end with 15, and the increment is by 4. So 3 plus 4, 7, plus 4, 11, plus 4, 15. Okay? This is the limitation of the colon operator. The colon operator, going back to the slide, can only perform consecutive number and the increment is by 1. In sequence, you can specify the increment. In my example, it's by 5, it's by 10, I mean, and by 4. And you will also notice in this example, in this first example, I make use of from and to and by. In this example, I just type the actual value. It is understood by the interpreter that this 3 has from, this 15 has 2, and this 4 pertains to by. Okay? Let's see another one. C is equals to sequence. Sequence. Let's say 1, 2, 7 to 25, then that out. Let's say 5. Print C. So in this example, I used the another parameter which is named length.out. So in our slide, length.out means is the length of the sequence, including the starting point and the ending point. So in this case, print C, the output is 7.0, 11.5, 16.0, 20.5, and 25.0. So there are 5 elements. Langin natin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it specifies the length of the sequence, including the starting point and the ending point. Do you get it? So tingnan natin. Calculator. Let's see. 11.5 minus 7, so it's 4.5. So 11.5 plus 4.5, so it's 16 plus 4.5, so it's 20.5 plus 4.5, so it's 25. So it's correct. You understand? Simple lang naman yan. Can you see my calculator window? Nakita niyo ba ito?
Yes po.
Okay. Yan. Next topic are the operators. What are the operators in R? So just like mathematics, it has addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, remainder, and exponent. So here, you might, for sure, you are familiar with the MDAS, the symbols for multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Probably you are not familiar with this. The remainder sign. This gets the remainder of 2 numbers. For example, so getting the remainder is equals to 7, 2. So the remainder of that is ilan? So 7 divided by 2 is 3, remainder 1. So the output should be 1. Run. Tama. So it gets the remainder. This one naman is the exponent. Exponent symbol. So 5 exponent 2, I believe that's 25. So try natin. Exponent 5, exponent 2. So print exponent 1, run. Okay? So ganyan. And how do you do that? How do you use those arithmetic operators in vectors? So this is an example. So here I have a vector named V, and the elements of this vector are 1, 2, 3. I also have another vector. The name of the vector is T. The elements are 4, 5, 6. And I created another variable, which is also a vector. Why? Because the value is a vector. So if a variable has a value of a vector, that variable is also a vector. In terms of class, this is numeric. So here, the arithmetic operator is multiplication. So V times T. So basically what it does, it multiplies the elements of the vector to this second vector. The first vector is V, the second vector is T. So 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 6 is 18. Okay, sige, try natin. So, ano gusto nyo? So 1, 2, 3. Therefore, let us see. D is equals to 3, 4, 5, 6. So VT is equals to, tingnan mo natin, class V. And class T. Run. So this T and V vectors are numeric in terms of data type because the values are numeric. So VT is equals to V plus T. So print VT run. So 5, 7, 9. Why? 1 plus 4, 2 plus 5, 3 plus 6. Easy? Right. Programming is easy. Okay, next. We also have relational operators. And these are the relational operators supported by R. The less than sign, the greater sign, the equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or not equal to. The difference between relational and arithmetic, in arithmetic, you perform mathematical operations. In relational, the value of this is Boolean. So it basically it is a question. Is 1 less than 2? So true or false, or yes or no. So here, let's say answer is is 22 equal to 22. Answer, print answer. Run. So it's true because really 22 is equal to 22. So this symbol is equality. Is 22 equal to 22? Another example is 22 equal to 22. And answer false. In programming, of course, the interpreter will only interpret our instruction. It will not be able to interpret the logic behind the instruction. Or if you follow the syntax, it will be able to interpret the logic. But if the semantics, kasi in our case, as human, 22 number is equal to 22 na text. But in terms of data type or data representation in R, they are not equal. That's why 22 is not, the 22 numeric is not equivalent to 22 character. So, okay. Yeah, this becomes true. Why? Because the instruction is answer is equals to 22 not equal to 22. The 22 numeric is not equal to 22 character, so the output is true. Okay, so going back to the vector, so in this example, again, V is 1, 2, 3, T is 4, 5, 6. Is V, the elements of vector V, greater than the elements of vector C, or T, I mean. So it's false because 1 is not greater than 4. 2 is not greater than 5. 3 is not greater than 6. Okay? So, ganyan. Next topic is how do you access vector elements? So, in this slide, we use square brackets to access the elements. This is known as indexing. And the indexing number starts with position 1. Okay. So, let's say we have a vector. My vector 2, 5, 6. My vector is supposed to C 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. So first element is equals to my vector is a square bracket. I sorry. So dito we use the square bracket. So C say 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4. So 3. Ay, first element, mali. Should be the fourth element. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's assume that FE pertains to fourth element. FE. Run. So it's 8. Okay? So we use the square brackets and the index number of the element to access a specific element in a vector. And that element, or the index number, starts with 1. So here, the element 2, the index is 1. The element 4, the index is 2. The element 6, index is 3. The element 8, index is 4. That's why the output is 8. Okay? So, in this example, you can also pinpoint several elements to display those elements. Several elements index, I mean. So, for example, we want to print the fourth FE, the first element and the fourth element. kung FE, pangit naman. Ano na lang, FEE. C. So 1 and 4. So run print FE. So that is 2 and 8. Okay. Next is using the colon operator. Diba, colon operator, it creates a sequence of elements. So that can be used for accessing vector. And in this example, from element 2 to element 4. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from 2, 4, 6, 8. That's why the output is 4, 6, 8. Or say, let's say, gawin na lang natin the last 2. So my vector C 4 and 5. And last 2. So 8 and 10. Okay? Told you programming is easy. Okay. Why am I discussing this? Because right now we're dealing with data structure, and this data structure is a simple data structure. Of course, your biological data is more complicated than this. But as you use R to extract data in biology, palagi nyo gagamitin yung vector, palagi nyo gagamitin yung matrices and other data structure. Kaya importante ito. After data structure, our next topic is about getting data. So I'll be discussing data extraction using the online and free data that can be used for data analysis. So, yun. Sa ngayon, ang gumagawa lang ng data, sa ngayon, tayo pa lang. Pero soon, mag-extract tayo ng data dun sa free data na pwedeng gamitin for data science. Okay. Next is the negative values. What's the rule here? Negative values in the index are used to drop elements. So in this example, if you want to drop 2 from the 5 vector elements or the first element, this is used, negative. So let's say vector of ano ba? Family birthday. Family birthday. Let's say FB numbers. See. Mm, 22. Let's say ito yung mga Facebook friends number. 25, 78, 18, 7, and 69. Yeah. So how many elements we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 elements. And Let's say, dun sa Facebook number, yung mga true friends mo lang talaga. Let's say, true FB, true Facebook friends. Let's say, true BFF mo lang. Or, so, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, 4. Negative 5. So, print. Run, and run. Ay, sorry. Dapat dito. Dapat ano to? Imam. Kasi nagkaroon ng ano. Wait lang. Tingnan natin. Bakit? Okay. Yung assignment operator. Sorry. Bakit ganun? Anong nangyari? Let me check another logic. Parang mali yung inisip ko sa output niya. I have a vector. Vector of tapos gusto kong tanggalin yung negative 5 sa vector. FP nun is equals to, just give me a minute guys, analyze ko lang. Nag-create tayo na vector, ito yun. Tapos gusto natin i-print yung, okay, dito. Oh. Ano nangyari? Let's see. Okay, sorry. Okay. Yun. Sige. 5. Ito na guys. Nawala si 7. Okay. Okay. Ganun talaga yung programming. Okay. So here I created a vector. The vector name is fbnum. And the vector elements are 2, 25, 78, 18, 7, 69. And using, again, the negative index that drops that element in the vector. So initially, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. And using negative 5, tatanggalin natin itong 7. So the output will be like this. Okay? Ganyan. Hindi siya pwede sa print. Hindi siya pwede sa print kasi ano siya NA. Pwede naman pala. Pwede naman pala. Kaya na yung gumana. Anyway. Siguro kanina naguluhan lang yung compiler. Human compiler. Yan. So again, going back to this slide, the negative values in the index are used to drop elements in the vector. And text is Boolean values. This can be used for indexing. Yung concept naman ito, kapag true, it will be displayed. Kapag false, hindi siya isasama dun sa display. Okay. So, ang gawin natin, i-display lang natin yung 69 and 25. So, using the square brackets, then first, so kung 69 and 25, so yung ano niya, first is false, true, true, false, false, then true. So, ibig sabihin, sa 69 display natin, so naka-on siya, plus 25, naka-on din. So, print, fp na run. Okay. False, true. Ba't ganun? True sa 25 kasi hindi naman na-manipulate. Kasi yung print, ano yung value. Hindi naman in-assign sa kanya kayong print. Ito. Okay. Let's go. Ito dito lang. Okay. So, kanina yung error, actually, ito yung ano din. Sabi ko, di ba, sabi ko sa programming, you should be familiar and you should analyze the syntax. Minsan, nahalo-halo ko siya. Akala ko, pwede siya ganito kasi C or Java. Pero, may sarili ng syntax yung R. So, hindi pwede yung print. Kasi kapag print, inaano mo yung value. Piniprint mo yung value ng isang variable. Eh, yung variable, hindi naman nagbago yung value niya. Yung false, true, ibig lang sabihin ito kung gusto mong i-display o hindi display. Okay. So, here's the output. So, the values are 22, 25, 78, 18, 7, and 69. And using this logical values, Yan, Boolean values that can be used for indexing. Kapag false, hindi siya ma-display. Kapag true, i-display siya. Kaya may 25 dito. Kapag false, hindi yung 78. Kapag false, yung 18. I mean, yes. Tapos kapag true, 7, i-display. And you will notice yung Boolean variables ko dito, Boolean values I mean, is only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pero yung actual values ko is 1, 2, 3, 4 elements, 4, 5, 6. So, 6 siya. So, meaning, by default, yung Boolean, kapag hindi mo specify kung true or false, by default, false siya. Okay? So, ganyan. And that is the explanation of this slide. Okay? So, before we go to matrix, siguro we can have questions muna. Kasi baka nalito na. Tulad ko, nalito na rin. The table is now open for questions. Any question? Wala. Ito pala sa chat. Merong ano. Wala pong sir equals. Tama. Baka po kailangan tanggalin yung equals brackets. Hindi. Inaalize ko na kanina. What else? Anong nangyayari doon kasi kanina, naglalagay ako ng equal sign, ito, hindi naman siya operation. Questions? Wala ba? Shall I continue? Wala ba guys? No question? Naiintindihan naman lahat? Okay, so naiintindihan. Next. So the next topic is matrix. So basically matrix is representation of data in terms of rows and columns. It can handle different types of data. Compared to vectors, dapat yung vector has the same type. Sa matrix, pwede magkaiba. Okay? So in mathematics, the explanation of this is the rows, this is the column. So A11, meaning element in row 1, column 1. A23, element in row 2, 1, 2, and column 3, 1, 2, 3. So, ganyan. So, in R, matrix collection of elements of the same data. Arrange in a fixed number of rows and columns. Actually, dapat different data to. Same data type. Collection of same data type. Okay, mamaya explain ko na lang mamaya. Then arrange into fixed number of rows and columns. Since you are only working with rows and columns, the matrix is called two-dimensional. And you can construct a matrix in R using the matrix function. So the syntax, matrix has this: the data, the number of rows, the number of columns. By row, specify if the elements should be arranged in row, and dim names. Dim names are the dimension names, so or the names assigned to rows and columns. And we have here 3 examples. Okay, so matrix is elements from 1 to 9 using the colon operator. So it's a sequence of numbers. And we have 3 rows and 3 columns. So if you do this would be the output. So gawin natin. M is equals to matrix. So here in the IntelliSense, data, number of rows, number of columns, by row true, names null. So if you can see this is IntelliSense. So this will guide you how you will create the matrix. You should follow the syntax para walang syntax error. So the data, let's say 1 to 9. The number of columns 3. And row columns 3. So M. Run. So this one. Okay, so 3 columns, 3 rows. Next, let's use the by row. By row. Okay. Okay, let us compare. What's the difference? Una, yung difference nila, yung isa may by row, yung isa walang by row. That's the first difference. Sunod, yung output. Yung etong first matrix that we have created, yung sequence niya is by column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dito naman, yung sequence niya is by row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's the purpose of the by row argument or parameter. Okay. Next example is this one, rows and columns using dim names or dimension name. So here, I created a vector. The vector name is rows, and these are the elements of the vector: row 1, row 2, row 3, column 1, column 2, column 3. And I used the vector as the value of my dim names using the list. List is another data structure. It's a collection of multiple data structure. Pero we will have a separate discussion of that kasi malaki rin siya na topic. Right now, vector and matrix na muna tayo. So, gawin natin. That's false. Para hindi siya maging ascending in terms of row. And here, just to see. Part1. Part3. Column is equals to 1, column 2, bin names, list is are in yan. Row and column. Okay. Okay na. So let's run. Okay. Sobra. So kanina, guys, you will notice meron siyang X dito. So meaning there's a problem with your syntax. And actually, kanina ganito siya. Ganyan. You will notice na meron siyang X. Meron unexpected brace. Curly brace. Curly brace. Yeah, brace. So kasi wala siyang kapartner. Ito, matrix here. Ito yun. Yung list. Ito, open and close. So this not needed. Ganyan. Run. And the names 1 equals to list of R and C. R and C. Length of dim names not equal to R extent. Length of dim names. C1 by row. Dim names. Kasi hindi pa nalalaman kung ano yung R, ano yung C. Okay. Yun. Yan. So kanina, again, another error. Bakit? Naghahanap siya ng length of dim names. Sino daw ito si R? Sino to si C? Kasi what I did, I executed this line not considering these two lines. Kaya hindi niya mahanap si R and C. So what I did, I run this one first, second this one, compile and run, and print. Okay. So that is the use of dim names. It can be used as the name of the dimension. Okay? So, pwede naman ganito. Say 1 is to 5. 1 to 10. And 5 by 2. 5 by 2. So, kapag ganyan, yung dim name, i-adjust mo rin siya. R4, R5, basta babawasan mo ito. So, let's see. Row, column, 10, 5 by 2. Run. Okay. Tapos kung gusto natin yung row is sequential, let's say dito, after nito 1, dito 2, change this to 2. Yan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So that is how to create matrix. Actually, may ibang topics pa dyan, pero sa ngayon, yan yung significant lang muna na kailangan yung malaman about matrix data structure. Next. Sabi ko nga, I tried to simplify R to the point na mas madali nyo siyang maintindihan. Kasi this is a complicated programming language, pero mas simpler na to sa Python. Kapag siguro after mga midterm or finals, I'll also discuss Python, pero ma-realize nyo na mas complicated siya. So sa lagay na to, simplified na to. Okay, how do you access matrix elements? Just the same with vector, we can use square brackets and we can specify the index number. So in this example, here I have a matrix of 3 by 3 with elements 1 to 9. So using n 1, I am pertaining to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 2, this one. Then M3 to 6. So in our example, this one, M, ano ba? I-display natin si 2, 3. 2, 3. Scrape out of bands. Let's say 2 to 3. Baliktad. So 6. Okay. Dito ko bands kasi wala namang 3 dito sa column. Kasi yung 2, di ba row muna, row. So, row 3. So, 1, 2, 3. Tapos column 2. Kaya 6. Kanina, 2, 3 baliktad. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So, since lang naman siya, 5 by 2. Kaya scrape out of bounds. So that's how you access elements in your matrix. Also, you can make use of the dim names to access the elements. Ito mas simple, pero paras lang naman yung concept niya. Since in our example, may nakalagay na dito, this is row 1. Row 1 yun. This is row 3. So we can do that. Let's say print n row 5. Pag ganyan lang siya, let's try. Kasi kulang ng colon, ng comma. R5 na font. Okay. Okay. Hindi mo intindihan ang profile. Okay. So, R5, kasi ito, this is a character. Hindi naman siya variable. Value siya dito na R5 enclosed with double quotation. Kaya hindi niya nahanap yung object. So, kapag ganyan, you're pertaining to row 5, so makuha niya yung 9 and 10. So, from a specific element, sama natin yung column. So, column 2. So, it's 10. Okay? So, that's the meaning of this example. Next. Actually, pwede mo nang lagyan ito ng ibang value. So, in this case, so, ulit natin yung matrix natin. Matrix. Let's say itong number 66, gagawin ko siyang, meaning yung 6, gagawin ko siyang 66. Pwede ko naman gawin yun. Kung papalitan. Pwede nga ba? Try natin. Kasi sa C, pwede yun. And row 3, column 2. Row 3, column 2, equals to 66. Point. Success. Gumagana na. Okay. Same sa vector. Going back to vector. Vector of vehicles. Ito. So vehicles. Vehicles. 1, 2. 2 is equals to instead na bike, bicycle. Then print vehicles. Yun. Car, tricycle, bus. Bakit may space to? Ano mo siya yung ewan? Ganyan na talaga. Well, may space lang na talaga siguro. I don't know. Pero there's no error or there's no syntax error, so we have to deal with it. Okay? So that ends my discussion. Sana naiintindihan ako. So let's go now to question and answer. Any question? May question ba? Wala? Hello guys, nandiyan pa ba kayo?
Wala man po, sir.
Wala mo. Okay. So, naiintindihan lahat. I am supposed to have to give a quiz about data types. Kaya lang, since hindi pa ako nakapag-demonstrate on how you would take the quiz. So, ang gagawin ko, the first quiz would be a practice quiz. Hindi siya recorded. Yung second quiz na yung recorded na. By tomorrow, I'll be uploading 2 two quizzes. Yung isa practice quiz. The number of items is 5. 5 items lang siya. And the actual quiz, and that would be 25 to 30 items that will cover data types to data structure. So basically, we have 3 topics. And the navigation method would be sequential. Pag sinabing sequential, kasi you have to click next para makapunta dun sa next item once you click the attempt button. And since it's sequential, you cannot go back to that item. Tapos, and it would be timed. Time kasi, syempre, kapag about source code or script, you can just copy and paste the problem and you can run it in your RStudio and you will be able to view the answer. Pwedeng ganon, di ba? So, lagyan ko siya ng time para masanay na rin kayo. So, siguro per item, ang 20 seconds or 30 seconds, depende sa complexity level of the question. So, check our LMS by tomorrow and you should be able to take the practice quiz and the actual quiz. Although yung quiz naman, i-open ko siya until Sunday. So if you want to review and try the scripts I included in my slides, pwede pa kayo mag-aaral. So open siya starting tomorrow until Sunday. Kung gusto niyo until next week, wala nang problema yun. Since first quiz naman siya. Okay? May question pa ba or may clarification? Wala man lang reaction? Ibig sabihin, naintindihan lahat?
May parts po, sir, na naintindihan kami. May parts din po na hindi.
Oh, ano yun na hindi naintindihan? Kasi pwede ko naman siya i-demonstrate ulit.
Like yung mga, siguro po, sir, sa mga technicalities lang po siguro. Pero yung flow, like, yung iba po kasi dito, trial and error lang talaga sa RStudio. Tinatry ko po kasi siya, like, habang tinatry mo din po, sir. Tapos, yun po, sir, doon rin po ako nahihirapan. Like, sa pag-input po, sir, ng mga codes. Yun po.
Okay. Because of the syntax. May specific syntax kasi siya. May magkulang ka lang dyan ng quotation or semicolon, mag-error talaga yun. That's one of the difficulty in programming. Talagang you should follow the syntax. Parang English grammar. Di ba may correct grammar, may Carabao English. Although sa naman kasi, since tayo tao, kahit anong klaseng dialect yan, Carabao English man yan, as long as na-comprehend natin, naiintindihan, so okay na siya. We can transmit, we can communicate. Sa computer, talagang hindi niya maiintindihan yan kapag hindi ka nag-follow dun sa syntax niya. May maguguluhan siya ng command mo kapag hindi ka nag-follow ng instruction kasi hindi naman siya tao. Basically, robot siya. Kaya ganyan. And it's okay na magkamali kayo dyan. Tingnan nyo nga ako. Tagal-tagal ko na nagagawa nito, nagkakamali pa ako dyan. Pero, yun, syempre, and rest assured na hindi naman ako mag-expect na pag nag-code kayo, wow, ang bilis. 1 minute, tapos gumagana lahat. Palo pa natin yung swordfish. Hindi naman. As long as you know the concept, nagagawa niyo yung pinapagawa ko, which is, yung purpose naman kasi ng subject is you to be able to analyze your data in biology and provide a visual representation of it. Kasi kung malaki yung data, let's say terabyte, and you want to do data mining, alam ko naman manuhin mo yan. So, kaya gagawa ng program. So, yung paggawa ng program, hindi naman siya talagang perfect na siya na magagawa. Okay lang naman magkamali. I-try mo lang talaga yung ibang option. So, yun nga, you have to be familiar with the syntax. Ako, nangyayari sa akin, to be honest, hindi ko naman talaga yan sa ulo. Tinitingnan ko lang yung yung structure. And yung ibang concept sa ibang programming language, ina-adapt ko na nilagay dyan. Kaya, pag gumagana, sabi ko, wow, gumagana. Pero pag hindi, then you have to read the programmer's reference. Yung in-upload ko na reference material na, ano nga yung title mo? This one. Reference index. Ito na. Dito nyo makikita lahat ng parameter ng isang function, anong purpose niya, paano siya gagamitin, ano yung specific na argument to do this output. Ito siya. Kaya okay lang yan. Okay lang yan, Cloyd. Also, if you will notice, isang week, kinukonti-konti ko lang siya. Kasi alam ko naman na new kayo sa programming, so ganun din yung approach ko. Pero expect na every week, may new topic dyan, may bago kayong aaralin, may bago kayong gagawin. And as soon as possible, I will conduct a synchronous session like this every week. Sana pala yung may kuryente. Okay? Okay, meron pa?
Sir, ma-upload niyo po kagad yung video lecture tapos PPT slide.
Yung alin pa? Yung lecture?
Apa, yung PPT lecture tapos yung video rin po.
Yung PPT, andyan na. Naka-uploaded na yun. Andito na siya. Ito na PDF file. Ito na yun. Yung video lecture, magdidepende to sa sa speed ng internet ko. Kasi i-upload to dun sa sa YouTube. Tapos depende rin kasi sa Google. So yung Google, actually ang nangyayari dito, di ba, we are recording. It will take time para matapos niya and mabigay niya sa akin yung file ng Google server. Pero within 24 hours, nabibigay naman yan. Ang problema ko naman yun, kung paano ko siya i-upload. I-upload sa YouTube. Kasi kung i-share ko sa inyo, I will be sharing the video ilang beses, 100, kung ilang kayo, 130 times. And baka may mamiss akong estudyante. So, kawawa naman. So, ginagawa ko na lang isang link, papunta yun sa YouTube channel, and para doon, makikita nyo siya. And para sama-sama. And sa case nyo din, para isa lang yung pupuntahan nyo. Kasi if you will notice, doon sa YouTube channel na ginawa ko, wala namang ibang playlist doon. Actually, I'm planning to create a playlist na about R. So, kapag nag-open kayo ng playlist na yun, yun lang pala lectures natin. Kaya ganyan. Kaya umabot ng 1 to 2 days before ko siya ma-upload. Totally.
Okay po, sir.
Wala na? Meron pa ba? Kasi alam ko sa Mobi may data. Sino pala yung gumagamit ng mobile phone for our scripting? Sino gumagamit? Lahat ba naka-desktop?
Sir, yung iba po sa classmates namin, phone po yung ginagamit. Pero
Gumagana naman daw? Gumagana naman daw?
hindi ko lang po alam, sir, if na-try na po nila.
I-try na nila kasi mag-quiz na. Pag na-try para silang sagot sa quiz.
Apo, sir.
I-try na nila. Para kung may concern man, i-email ako or during our session, next session, sabihin sa akin. So, pwede naman i-share yung screen niya so I can fix the error kung may error. Ganun.
Yung compiler po yun, sir, no? Yung nasa LMS po?
I-install lang yung APK sa phone.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
APK sa phone. So right now, andito yung block A kasi schedule nila to, tapos block C. Tama ba ako? So kung wala na, so siguro we can dismiss para matipid din yung mobile data nyo. I am supposed to discuss only for 1 hour kasi yun din yung rule of thumb ng mga faculty that yung synchronous should be limited to 1 hour so that you have available data for other subjects. Ang plano ko nga, I'll be recording a video i-upload ko lang sa YouTube. Tapos yung session natin na ganito synchronous would be question and answer lang para hindi masyadong matagal, para tipid kayo sa mobile data. Kaya lang, sa ngayon, itong microphone ko, hindi siya masyadong malinaw. I have to provide a new one para matanggal yung noise, may noise cancellation. Okay, hopefully by next week, I can start doing vlogs. Wow, vlog. Hindi naman. I can start doing video lectures na recorded para ano nyo din. And siguro sa video lectures, yung na-code na may mga error, so makatanggal ko na siya para talagang maximize yung 30 minutes na lahat talaga siya gumagana yung code. Although, ang ganda naman doon sa nag-error, kasi kung na-experience ko yun, na-experience ko din. So, kung nagagawan ko ng solusyon, you would be able to understand anong nangyari at ba't nag-error. Yun ang kagandahan doon. Kaya I'm doing it live. Kasi kung ano na siya, na-edit na siya, kapag nag-error sa inyo, you might be asking, paano to, sir? Ba't siya hindi nag-error sa amin nag-error? Ganyan. Yun ang kagandahan naman ng live. Okay, so kung wala ng questions, siguro we can dismiss the class. I'll be posting announcement. Tapos tomorrow, expect for a quiz, practice quiz, and the actual quiz. So kung wala na, bye-bye, and see you soon.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po,
Okay,
sir.
sir. Bye po.
Thank you po, sir.
Pwede ba magano?
Thank you,
Makita
sir.
sa personal, ay sa camera, pwede yun yung camera nyo para at least makita ko naman yung mga beautiful faces ng bio. Okay. Sige. Nice. Sige. Ayos yan. Programming is easy. Sige, bye-bye.
June, tumama ka na, June.
Hi! Hello, everybody.
Recorded ba siya?
Oy, Sam.
Recorded ba siya?
Sam.